Hi, I'd like to show you a great way to manage complicated designs and get started with your PCB layout even when you've got multiple sheets in a design with hundreds or even thousands of components with Altium Designer. So we start here and we've got a schematic with multiple sheets. This schematic, the particular one's not quite done yet, but for the purposes of this video you can see I've got several sheet symbols. And let's say I'm ready to start pushing all the components into the PCB. So I'll run this design, update to PCB. And we've got a list of ECOs. I'm just going to run this. It's adding a bunch of components. And we open up our PCB, and all of a sudden we've got a ton of components. It can be overwhelming if you are just starting with Altium, so let me show you a few hacks. So the first thing I do if I'm just placing a bunch of components and trying to figure out how big the PCB needs to be is I'll go in and I'll shut off all my rubber bands for nets. It just kind of clutters everything up. So you can see I've got a bunch of rooms that I've imported. Some of them are the same. And I don't really know right off the bat how big the PCB is going to need to be. So what I'll do is I'll select all the components, and then I've mapped some hotkeys to some commands. And one of them is to place components in a rectangular space. Let's see if we can find it here. So the command is from Tools, Component Placement, Arrange within rectangle. So I've got my components selected. You see I've got this mapped to a shortcut key, shift left bracket. It makes it easier to rapidly go through it. If you want to add a shortcut that makes sense for you, you can hold down Control and then any command that you want on the menu and just left click, and it pops open this edit command dialog, and then you can map your shortcut right here. So I'll click there and I'll click shift left bracket. If I wanted to map it to shift J, you can see it just changes automatically. And then you hit OK. So here let's run the command, shift left bracket, and I'll just draw a rectangle, and all the components then fit there. There's another command, wrap orthogonal room around components, and I've mapped that to shift right bracket. So see, we've gone from you know what, a room about this size to a room that's a little bit more compact, and it just gives me an idea of how much room that area of components is going to take up. So here, let's do it on this one again. So I'm just rapidly selecting, placing components within a room, wrapping that room around them. And this one, I'm betting the room has, for some reason, been arranged. So I hope that helps. It's a standard workflow that I use when I come into PCB to just kind of get a handle on how much space things are going to take up. All right, hope that helps. Hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.